But in the meantime, Cuba coming into the conversation in last night's debate with the GOP candidates sounding off about President Obama's decision to reopen relations with the communist country.
I think I'm somewhere in the middle. What I want is a much better deal to be made, because right now Cuba is making, as usual with our country, we don't make good deals. We don't have our right people negotiating. We have people that don't have a clue.
Here's a good deal. Cuba has free elections. Cuba stops putting people in jail for speaking out. Cuba has freedom of the press. Cuba kicks out the Russians from Lourdes and kicks out this Chinese listening station in Bejucal. Cuba stops helping North Korea invade UN sanctions. Cuba takes all of those fugitives of American justice, including that cop killer from New Jersey, and send her back to the United States and to jail where she belongs. And you know what? Then we can have a relationship with Cuba. That's a good deal.
Donald supported Hillary Clinton and John Kerry. And what he said right now is that he agrees in principle with what they're doing. I have a fundamental disagreement, and I think most Republicans and most Americans do, that we shouldn't be allowing billions of dollars to go to nations that hate us, to go to Cuba, to go to Iran, and to let them use those billions of dollars to try to murder us.
Phil Keating has more for us live from Miami. Phil, that is especially familiar territory for Marco Rubio, right?
Absolutely, Heather. The senator from Florida, Cuban-American, born and raised here in Miami. He has certainly lived the Cuba debate his entire life and his political career. On the stage in Coral Gables last night, the importance of Florida's Tuesday primary, the largest swing state in the nation, quite evident. It's, of course, the home of the Hurricanes, but shockingly, last night, unlike the other debates, no storms on that stage. Polite, substantive discourse and issues ruled the night, kind of like political debates of old.
There are only two of us that have a path to winning the nomination, Donald and myself.
The great thing about politics, you know, the reason why we watch it is because what's true today is not necessarily true tomorrow. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I think, frankly, the Republican establishment, or whatever you want to call it, should embrace what's happening. We're having millions of extra people join. We are going to beat the Democrats. We are going to beat Hillary or whoever it may be, and we're going to beat them soundly.
We are going to rebuild that military, and that military is going to find the terrorists and destroy them. And if we capture any of these terrorists alive, they're not going to have the right to remain silent, and they're not going to go to a courtroom in Manhattan. They're going to go to Guantanamo Bay.
Florida's huge winner-take-all primary on Tuesday is up for grabs, 99 delegates. The same is true in Ohio. It's a winner-take-all state there, 66 delegates up for grabs in Ohio. Heather?
Yeah, Phil, you know, we're always looking at these polls, and it does appear right now anyway that Trump's Florida lead is maybe shrinking. It has done that, shrunk in recent days.
Yeah, it's been a big 10 days here in Florida, especially for Marco Rubio, the home state senator, who has spent a reported $7 million on a media blitz, much of it criticizing Trump. And Trump's 20-point-plus lead seems to have shrunk. According to two new polls, the Suffolk University poll shows Trump 36%, followed by Rubio 9 points behind him, then Cruz and Kasich. And a Washington Post Univision News poll has Trump at 38%, with Rubio just 7 points behind, followed by Cruz and Kasich. Already in Florida, 1.5 million registered voters have already cast their ballots early. Now, this is a closed primary in Florida, meaning you have to be registered as a Republican or a Democrat to vote, so independents can't. Heather?
All right, Phil Keating live for us. Thank you.